Hey, what's up? So for today's video, we're gonna be watching some clips from this TV show, Extreme Cheapskates, which is on like TLC or something. But the purpose of this is to show you an exaggerated version of ways people go about saving money and hopefully allow you to say, at least see how you also fall into the trap a little bit. And we're going to the extreme to really make it obvious the extent to which people do fall for this, but there are subtle ways that this is most likely affecting your life too. I've even found some in mine, but the whole idea here is like you can only ever save so much money, but there's an infinite amount of money that you can actually make if you invest your time into the proper activities. And for all the examples I'm going to show you today, like if these people even like just drove Uber for I don't actually know how much you make with Uber, but probably around $18 an hour, including tips, they would be able to live a much easier lifestyle with a lot less of a lot more time for themselves to do what they want to do. And I just want to show some of these extreme examples I came across.
There's no need for me to use the washing machine because it just costs too much money. I could just reuse the water right here. There's a lot of wear and tear on your clothes in the washing machine. I'm able to wash my clothes in here. My clothes last for years. Because my hot tub's not going to add any value to the house, I decided to use it for multi-purposes, for everything that I can think of. It costs about $15 a month to take a 10-minute shower every day, and that adds up. By using my hot tub, I would say I'm saving about $30 to $40 a month. That way I don't have to use my appliances, could turn off the hot water heater. This hot tub, this thing is a money saver. This is like a cash cow for me. I think it's a stroke of genius myself.
I think that all of Todd's free time is spent preserving the value of things that he has.
I think that's extremely well put, just like talking about how it's a fixation on saving pennies versus making actual dollars. And the expression waste not, want not never actually refers to people's time. That's something to keep in consideration, especially with this next clip I'm going to show you.
People misplace millions of dollars in loose change every year, and their loss is this cheapskate's gain. Every day, Mark spends his free time hunting down dimes, nickels, and pennies all over Las Vegas.
Right there alone, he's literally spending hours hunting down pennies instead of even making basic dollars. You'll see this in yourself in terms, there's a book called Buy Back Your Time, and in the book it talks about basically keeping track of everything you do for 2 weeks in 15-minute intervals, and then you highlight each of those either green or red. For green is if it gives you energy and makes you more energized after doing it. Red is if it drains energy from you. And then for each of those tasks you go through and you put $1 to $4 signs near it. So the whole goal here is to identify tasks that drain your energy and don't save you that much money. And by doing this, you're able to, first of all, realize what those tasks are so that you can either stop doing them, delegate them, or find a way to stop having to actually spend your time doing these pointless activities. I think this next clip is a perfect metaphor for what this activity is actually doing to yourself.
In the past 6 years, Mark has volunteered in more than 100 medical studies, and the riskier the trial, the better it pays.
I've been debating whether doing this new study.
You're doing another study?
Of course, what it is, it's a testicular study. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a testicle replacement and make $35,000.
You're going to have your testicles replaced?
One of my testicles, not both.
Don't you think you need it?
Dude's literally trading his masculinity and his health for money. And I think such an extreme example of this really, I don't know, allows you to see the extent to which people will actually go in order to save money. Your health is the most valuable asset that you possibly have. If your health goes to crap, you can't do anything else. if you're constantly in pain, if you're constantly suffering from disease, like what's the point of having any money? What's the point of having or even being alive still if you're like in chronic, endless pain? Like you have to invest your money back into at least yourself to make you healthy. This next clip is basically for a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, and I think it's a funny exaggeration of the degree to which a lot of them will go to save money by not delegating tasks to others or having unwillingness to actually spend it back on their own business.
$100 a month. This is my little office, and sometimes it gets kind of warm, so I use this stick to get the fan going. Because there it goes. Or sometimes I'll just jump up. I could have paid money to fix it, but keep that going.
I mean, anyone who's ever read a single book about actually getting things done would realize the task switching there is going to absolutely kill you in terms of not being able to get any work done, which is probably why he's in this mental state, because he's constantly doing these small activities to try to save money and never actually reflecting on ways to make more of it, because his brain is so tied up in these moment-to-moment seconds and thinking about it, which is also why we need to meditate and create space for awareness so we can have thoughts that then lead us and give us insight on how we can better spend our time. This next one is basically just an extreme example of people unwilling to trade their money for health.
Meat is expensive, and so is dairy. That's why I eat raw vegetables. I don't have to cook it. No energy is going into it. I don't have to refrigerate most of my stuff.
Monique.
And like I think it's kind of funny there where she's like, I don't have to use any energy to cook it. Well, it also doesn't really give you back any energy, because guess what? When you use energy to cook it, you actually get more nutrients from your food, and eating raw vegetables is not good. There's a reason why we have canine teeth right here. It's because we're meant to eat meat, and that would make us strong and allow our brains to actually function properly to the point where we could realize the extent of our own stupidity, at least in this example. Anyways, look at how you spend your time, reflect upon it, and notice where you try to save money. I'm not even saying you don't have to try to save money, but just be consciously aware of the activities you're using to save money, or at least be consciously aware of activities that you do that you dislike and that you could pay others to do, which is basically still you doing it in order to save money, and notice them so that you can at least be aware of how they are. And through time, I find with noticing it, you eventually just get really fed up and decide enough is enough. And you don't have to force yourself to make any big decisions, but by noticing these small things, you'll want to eventually.